Hey guys, my name is Jennifer and I am Genevieve Designs. We are currently working on this Crafty Companion Crafty Workstation. This one is going to be the Crafty Workstation with the Crafty Mini Racks on top. So it's going to be structured like this. And this is where we've gotten so far. So we've made the crafty cubbies, we've made the crafty top tray, and we've wrapped the whole thing together and we've inked the edges. If you want to see how we got to this point, I will put a playlist right here, and I will also put one down in the description box. I like to do playlists for each one of my projects so you could follow me start to finish, step by step, without missing a step. So all of the playlists always start with the intro to the templates. Then there is the workbook video, which is what this is. This is my workbook, and it is not a physical item. It's something you have to print out and make yourself, which I do suggest you do. And make it however you want to make it. This is just how I make mine. So there's a video for that specifically. I will link it here and down below as well. So these are my printable templates. They're called the Crafty Companion, and I designed this so that it could be a bunch of different things. It could be a workstation, it could be a storage unit, it could be garbage bowl, it could be an ink station, right? It could be anything and everything that you need it to be, just about. So I've tried to configure it to where all you got to do is switch out drawers, or switch out what's on the top, or switch out what's on the bottom, or whatever you want to do. So I tried to make it to where it's completely customizable to your needs. Your needs, not my needs, your needs. So everybody's needs are slightly different. Even if we're making the exact same project, everybody's needs are still different. So the workstation one, this one that we've already made, oh, I guess I could just show you the physical one. This one right here. So this is the workstation with the dividers on top. These are not removable, they're just like slots. This is the type of workstation that I use when I'm working on a project. So in these drawers will be like flowers, and there'll be ephemera, and there'll be stamp sets and extra papers and things like that, or ephemera that I'm using, or bits and pieces like metal paper clips and all that kind of stuff. All that stuff will be here in these drawers and up here. So this is not considered a storage unit. This is just for the projects that I'm working on. So for example, if I'm working on 2 or 3 projects at a time, and I don't know if everybody does that, but I seem to do that, I can have everything that I need in this one workstation, and then I can have another workstation where I have everything I needed for another project. Do you see what I'm saying? So that was kind of my thought. So currently right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 I have 3 workstations. 2 of them are prototypes, and then I have this one that we made on camera. So if you want to know how we made this, I'll put a playlist here and down below, so you can follow start to finish on every little bit of this. Isn't it beautiful? I just loved the way this turned out. And so this one here, the one in the middle, this one here, that's more designed to be like a storage unit. So all of your brads can go in one of the crafty trays. Do you see what I'm saying? All of your extra rolls of tape can go in one of the crafty trays. This is kind of meant for storage, not for like when you're working on a project. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. But anyway, so these templates, they are printable. They'll be linked down below. They're available in Etsy shop. And there's also a specific Amazon list for the Crafty Companion, so everything that I use will be down there. That will be in that link. And if it's not available on Amazon, I will link it to other places. Okay, so what I want to do today is we're gonna mat the inside here, and we're gonna mat all the way around the outside of this workstation. And then we're also going to attach it to the crafty bottom. So, oh, I do need something out of here. So in the crafty top tray section in your workbook, so it looks like this, crafty top tray section, you can see it there. It could be a standalone, or you can add it on top of your crafty cubbies, just like I did here. We're going to need, I printed off page 3M, and 4M. So I printed mine off in the coffee stained background design. That's what I've been using. And I printed it onto, I'm thinking this, I think this is 110 pounds. I don't know. This doesn't feel as heavy. It's probably 110 pound white cardstock I get from Staples. But you could use regular paper because you're just lining the inside of the top tray. So that's what we're going to use to line this. So all you have to do is cut out each individual piece. None of these pieces stay together, so just go through. This is a Fiskars Precision Heavy Duty Paper Trimmer. So just go through and cut everything out. And then you're going to want to take your ink and just ink those edges just like this. And the ink that we're using is the Distress ink in Vintage Photo. Okay, so I've got them all cut out. Everything's all inked up. And now I'm going to attach it, or I'm going to mat the inside here. And I think I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use some art glitter glue. It dries clear, and since we've already inked all of our inside edges, we don't have to worry about not getting glue seepage, because if you get glue seepage, your ink won't stick. The only glue-ish type medium that I have ever used that you can ink over is Ranger's Multi Matte Medium. That is the only one I have ever found that you can ink over it if you get it everywhere. Okay, so we're just gonna sit this in here. And art glitter glue dries really quickly, so we need to move fast. And I'm gonna take my Teflon bone folder and I'm gonna just smoosh it. Yeah, because what's going to go up on top of here is these Crafty Mini Racks, right? Not these, we have to make them still. But they fit up on top of here, so you can make whatever sizes you want. You can move them around. It's completely adjustable. Or you can just have it plain like that. Either way. Alright, I'm going to go through and add all these pieces. It's easy, right? You could, if you wanted to, you could use just plain cardstock. Like if you were using like craft cardstock, you could just use craft cardstock. If you wanted to, you could use actually printed, or not printed, like patterned paper, like scrapbook paper. You could print the template off onto that. That would be pretty as well. So we've got that all matted. See how it's all lined now? It looks super cool. So I wanted to kind of do the same kind of situation that I did with this, where I've got the white cardstock that's been punched, and then I've got the stamping on it, and I did a few little pieces there, but I was gonna use a different paper. So, but I'm gonna do kind of, because I want it to look like a set. All of the ones that I make together, I want it to look like a set. So I'm gonna use, so from my Floral Whimsy, this is what we're using. This is what the Etsy listing looks like. It's available in my Etsy shop. It's linked down below. So that's what the listing looks like. We're using this printable digital paper for the Crafty Companion. I've printed off a few. I put myself some little notes so I wouldn't get confused. So I'm going to use, let's see, I've got the sides and the back. So I'm using the ones with the purple flowers. I don't know if you guys can tell that well. Well, not the Post-it note, but. All right, so this is the one I'm going to use to mat the sides, all three sides. But I'm also going to grab a piece of cardstock. Okay, here's my cardstock. Let me move this. So the first thing I want to do, I think, is I'm going to stamp on here. Well, that looks pretty rough. That's not cut very nicely. That's strange. So I'm going to grab a craft mat, I think, a big one that looks kind of funky, so I don't stamp on my table, the surface here. This is just a white Tonic, I think it's Tonic brand craft mat. And then I'm going to grab that stamp that we're using. Which is this one, which is the Heidi Swap. This one's pretty old. It's from 2013, but I like it because it's like a collage scripty type thing. So if you got a stamp like this, it'll do the same thing. That's got like script and just different little bits and pieces. So I'm gonna get this and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stamp. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna try to keep it straight because I'm gonna be cutting strips. So let me grab another tool. I might use this. This is a Fiskars stamping thing. I don't know. It looks like it might be dirty. I don't know if this will help me. I'm going to try to see so I can position where I'm stamping. Okay, let me see if I can line this up here. Or try to line it up. So I don't use this very often, but I think in this case it's going to help me stay a little straighter. So I've just mounted that on there. Then I'm going to get my distress ink, my vintage photo distress ink. And I'm going to ink up the whole thing. I better flip that this way. And then I'm going to bring it over here. It looks like it's straight. I think I'm going to start at the bottom. I can't tell, you got, I can't tell, I can't get over it. Well, we're just going to have to hope for the best. So then I'm just going to press down, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's supposed to be like collage-y. I don't know if I'll be able to get a second print. So I'm just going to go ahead and ink it up again. And then maybe I'll start halfway down. Right. Because last time we did this, I put the white on first, and then the white paper on first, and then I stamped it when it was on the workstation, and I mean that worked. It worked just fine. It wasn't perfect. So I'm not wanting it to be perfect, is what I'm trying to say. I was just hoping this would keep me a little bit neater, but I'm not sure it's doing that at all. So, and that's okay. It doesn't have to. Maybe if I just stamp once in the middle. So I'm basically making my own pattern paper is what I'm doing. Okay, so until I can mess with that, I'm going to scoot that over. Okay, so now what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to cut, I'm thinking, I need to find a place for this right this minute. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a 1-inch strip that goes all the way around matching. So I'm going to go ahead and cut, I'm going to cut 4 1-inch strips just in case. So 7.5. I'm going to cut the strips, and then I am going to punch them. 6.5. That one doesn't look very much like much fun. 5.5. 4.5. Yeah, that'd be fine. So I'm going to sit this over in my other workstation, my prototype, so that it could be used at another time. And then I'm going to take the punch that we've been using. I don't know. It's a Martha Stewart punch, and I can't find it, and I don't know the name of it. It must be out of stock. So all we're going to do is, if you're looking at its right side, you want the punch to be at the bottom. The punched edge to be at the bottom, I guess. All right, so then you just want to go through and punch all of these. All of these strips. I'm going to punch them all, and then I will be back. Okay, so I've got those 4 strips punched, and now I think I need the Crafty Cubby section. This is the workbook, so, whoops. This, on page 4M in the Crafty Cubby section, there is a page that says mats for sides of Crafty Companion projects. So I need that mat, and then, let's see. Where's the back side mat at? Ah, here it is. On page 3M in the Crafty Cubby section, there is also a mat. It says mat for Crafty Cubby top bottom panel, but this can also be used to mat the back of the projects. So I'm going to grab this one as well. That one has a multi-use. Matter of fact, they might be super close to each other. Oh, this one is taller just in case you needed it a little taller, but either way, we basically, let's start with the back. So I'm going to grab my paper again. So there's my sides and here's my back. So I'm going to do, oh, we need one more. Sorry, one more template. And then in the Crafty top tray section, we need, I'm going to use the Crafty top tray long panel to use as a traceable template for the mat for the front of the workstation. So it's going to go right here, okay? So what I'm going to do is, for the back, I'm going to trace it out. I'm going to match up these white lines here. These are printed onto white cardstock. Again, it's just a mat. You don't have to print it onto heavy duty anything. Copy paper might be a little too light. You might be able to see through that. So maybe not that. Oh, what did I just do? I just did that wrong. Don't put a line there. Don't do that. All you want to do is mark this side, because, well, I guess we could look and see. Oh, okay, we're okay. So if this was taller, you wouldn't want to put a line at the bottom. If I would just quit driving my jaws, I would remember to tell you that. So this is kind of the guide that you need to use this way. So if yours ended up being taller, you just keep going down the line. So you just trace the one side out and then cut your paper. You might have to use, if yours is really tall, you might have to use a 12 by 12 sheet instead of one of these printed papers. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trim this out. And where's my other template? Here it is. And then I'm going to trace this template, this Crafty top tray panel. I'm going to trace that. Oh, no, I'm not either, because I just cut it. I'm going to get another piece and I'm going to trace that. Okay. Let me go ahead and just trim. I guess I could wait to trim that part. Okay. So I'm going to lay this on here, just like this. Right, and it's not going to be 100% perfect, so don't flip out over that. I'm going to lay my ruler on here about where I think it needs to stop, and then I'm going to draw a line. So I probably cut this the wrong way. I probably should have, or trimmed it out the wrong way, but there's no wrong way, really. I can't seem to get my thoughts together today, you guys. Today was the first day of an orientation day of my baby, my youngest son's senior year in high school. It is just insane to think about that. Okay, so now this should fit perfectly on the back side here, or perfectly enough, right? So that's good. And then I'm going to have to use something different because I messed this up. But I am going to trace it out onto the same paper. Hopefully I've got one already. I've got a piece. Well, maybe not that piece. I'll have to find a piece that I can. Here we go. I'll use this piece. I'm going to trace that out onto that one. So then for the sides, I'm going to use this template and I'm just going to mark the side. So I can actually go all the way up to the top because we're going to be covering up that top part, aren't we? So I'm hoping I could get both sides of this project out of one piece of paper. So I'm just going to trace down the one side. And that's using the 4M, so it's the mats for the size of the Crafty Companion projects. So I'm going to cut this away. I might be able to use this piece right here for that instead of that big piece. And then I'm going to trim this white piece away. Okay, so let me write back on here so we don't get the pieces confused. All right, so again, we're going to have a piece up here that's white, so I'm not really concerned about that little white strip. So we're just going to lay this on here as best we can. Oh, I put my ruler up. And I'll lay my ruler on here, come about an 1/8 of an inch away from the bottom edge there. And I'm going to cut. I am going to mark it. So this one is the right side for me. And then let's see if I can get 2 out of 1. Oh, but that's upside down. Well, is it going to matter? It's going to matter. Maybe I can get it still. Alright, so let's put that an 1/8 of an inch away from that edge. Oh, I'm going to be able to. Okay, good. Good. So then I'm going to come an 1/8 of an inch away from the bottom. And the reason these don't have a specific mat for this workstation is because you might have chosen 3B size cubbies or 3A size cubbies. So your dimensions are going to be different if you didn't make it exactly the way and even if you did make it exactly the way I did, it doesn't mean that it's going to be the exact same height or width. And that all depends on how you put it together and all of that. So I'm going to trace this one out too, and I'm going to cut these out, ink them up, and then I will be back. Alright, so now I've got them all inked up. So this is the right side, this is the left side, this is the back, and then this is the front panel that goes right here. That's this one that we traced out, right? So, but before we glue them down, what I want to do is I want to take, let's start with the back panel. I want to take and measure these strips out. We're going to go ahead and attach them and do all of that stuff before we attach it to the workstation this time. So basically, I'm just going to lay it on here and I'm going to mark it and I'm going to cut it. Whoa, shaky. Big scissors. So I'm going to cut that. So I'm going to cut one for each piece. Let's see. One that says Genevieve on there. So lay that on there. Okay, and then really quick, you just want to ink these little pieces up. I've just put them on a like another little craft mat, and I'm just going like this, just giving it a little bit more color. All right, easy, trying to keep them all where they belong. All right, so then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a paper towel really quick, is I want to glue these down to the pieces. So I'm going to take my art glitter glue again, and I'm going to run a line around the edges, right? And then I'm going to try to get in between as best I can. You don't have to have full coverage, and I bet I'm missing quite a bit. Alright, so you're going to do that. Gonna have to clean that up later. And then you want to add it to the top edge of your mat. So this one is the back mat, right? Add it to my top edge. Then I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm just going to blot it down like this. Right? So that's what it's going to look like. You see? All right, so I'm going to do the rest of them and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've got them all attached to their mats, and then now I'm going through and adding these little teeny tiny gemstones. These are acrylic gemstones. I got them at Hobby Lobby. It's in the jewelry section, pretty sure. And let's see, I don't know if you could read it. It's 2 or 4 millimeter pieces. There's 200 pieces. It just says a premium acrylic gemstone. I've tried to find them, but I've only found them at Hobby Lobby. So I've already done 3 of them. So this is what they're going to look like. Just like the other one, just to add that little extra decorative detail, right? Then there's one. And then, oh, I'm showing you that. Aha, that's what it looks like before. Here's what it looks like after. Ta-da! My brain is just not working today. And then here's the little front panel, right? So we just need to do this one. So in my mom's stuff, I found this. It's called a jewel picker, Marvy jewel picker. And then I've also got the We Are Memory Keepers quick stick. The only difference I can see between the two is this jewel picker has a thicker end and a thinner end, and then the quick stick, you have to unscrew this top part, and there's a little sticky part there, and then it has a like removable pick. So, but I was using this because I wanted to see if it'll work, and so far it's done really, really good. I don't know. I thought I was getting ready to be thinking I had already made a mess. Okay, so all you need to do, and I demonstrated it in the other workstation, but I'm going to go ahead and do it here too, is put a little dot of glue in that tiny circle there. I guess I could scooch you in a little bit because you're kind of far. I had to scooch you way out because the projects are so big. Okay. So I just put some dots of glue in the little circles there. And now I'm just picking it up with this little jewel picker and placing it in that little spot. Whoa. I just think it adds just the cutest detail. Ooh, I got a lot of seepage on my glue there. I don't know if you can get glue on the tip of this thingy without ruining it. I don't know much about it. I just found it in my mom's stuff here recently. So I'll have to do some research. Because you know, with the other thing, I can use that pick and clean up around it. So I don't think you'd want to do that with this. But I don't know. So I'll add that to my Amazon list. I don't know if it's any cheaper or not, but anyway, you never know. It seems to be working really good though. And it's quick. Wait. Okay. It is so hot today, you guys. It is so hot. I need to turn my fan on in here, but it just makes, sometimes it just causes more havoc than good, but it's draining my battery on my camera. I think the heat makes it harder on your camera. I mean, I don't know that for sure because I'm not a camera expert, but okay. So now we've got all of those little pieces on. Isn't that just adorable? So now I'm going to go ahead and glue these down to the sides. So I think I'm going to use my art glitter glue again. Why not? And just going to add some glue to it. Make sure I've got it correct. Do a little burnishing down. This is a Teflon bone butter. Right, there's one side. Let's go to the back. Place this on there. And this other side. So yeah, I mean, it's not 100% perfectly matching. The edges aren't 100% perfect matching with the chipboard either, but that is totally fine. You cannot even really tell unless you know. So you know what I mean? And even if you know, you can't really even tell. That just looks so cool. Don't that look cool? Okay, and then the last piece is this front piece. Okay, and then we're going to stick that on there. It's so cute. Right, so now we've got that. And it should match up all the way around, and it does. Looks so good, looks so good. Okay, and last but not least for this video, we are going to attach the crafty bottom. So the crafty bottom is, oops, that's not it. Where it is, there it is. There's a whole section just for the crafty bottom. It is, the sole purpose is for stability and for functionality of the bottom drawer so that you can have it on a surface and not worry about what's laying in front of it. So it lifts it up off of your surface so that you can use that drawer. So I have a video where I made the crafty bottom. Let me grab it. For this, there's so many projects. For this one, I will link it right here and I will link it down below. I made it the exact same way as I made the one for this one. Exactly. So I'm not going to remake another one or do another video for it, but it is done the exact same way. And also on Facebook, I've been getting the question about, which way's top and bottom here? And front and back. I've been getting the question about should you put anything inside here to keep it from bowing when weight gets added to it. For the workstations, you do not need to do that. But when we go to make our storage unit, we will make one that has supports in here because your storage unit is going to be heavy. Because you're going to be having many layers, and it's going to be full of stuff that you're storing. So your workstation is more for things that you're using on that project, okay? We don't have to put anything to support the middle of this unless you just want to, but it's not necessary. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this away. I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac by Beacon, and I am going to add glue to the bottom of this. And I'm using this because it's thicker, because there's lots of layers, and I decided not to mat it. It was just kind of a waste. So I'm going to let the glue come down to the bottom, to the tip of the bottle by itself. You know, when you shake it and force it down, that's when you get air in there, and then it starts to erupt when you turn it right side up. So if you're just patient with it, I'm usually not that patient. So if you just are, it won't do it as much. But you want a good amount. So I'm going to make sure I get it around these edges as well. So let me see. That's okay. So this is the top and the front is facing me. So I'm just gonna flip this. I'll show you where I messed up and glued before I inked on this work. Oh, I need to scoot this back. And so the Fabri-Tac gives you a minute, just buys you a few minutes to wiggle things around and shift it around to get it right where you need it to be. It gives you just enough time. Okay, so I walked away from it for a minute. I had to do something really quick, so it's mostly dry now. But I wanted to show you, see that little corner right there? That is from me getting glue all over the place, being all haphazardly applying my mats, and then the ink, the distress ink, won't take. So that's that. That's where that came from. That happened. Okay, so that's all we're gonna do in this video today. I think we got pretty far. We're doing pretty good. We're almost done with this this part. We're gonna, in the next video, we're gonna make the little crafty trays. So I've already made some of them ahead of time. Pre-ahead, I don't know. So I made the A size. This is the large crafty trays, and then this is the C size, and these are the small, no, these are the medium crafty trays. Yes, they're supposed to have that much room. And then in the next video, we'll make the B size crafty trays, and we'll make one of each size. That way you can follow along and see how to make one of each size. And then we will do the Crafty Mini Racks up here, okay? So that's what we got so far. What do you guys think? Do you like the way this one's turning out? I totally do. Let me grab the other one too. I'm not using it yet, so I can keep showing it to you guys. So let me move my candles so they don't burn anything. Right, so here's the two projects we've got so far. What do we think? It's so cool, it's so cool. And so what I like about it, it's gonna be hard to see how they're matching but not the same. So I love that. Okay, all right. Okay, you guys, that is all I have for you today. So if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up, and do let me know what you think in the comment section below. And be sure to check out the and be sure to check out the description box, or the show more section, or the little arrow that's pointing down. All of the links to the playlist and to the templates and all of that are down there. And be sure to subscribe to my channel before you leave. And there might be some other videos here on the screen that you might enjoy watching. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.